My name is Abiola Segun Williams, and I am so delighted to be here this evening talking to young ladies, all the ladies in the house. Really nice to be here this evening, and it's such a beautiful privilege and an opportunity because I love to talk and relate with young people, especially women. I'm very biased towards women. I have both a boy and a girl, but being a woman myself, I'm very sensitive to the issues associated with women. I'm more inclined towards women and the peculiarities of our situation within our social context. So Deborah gave me this opportunity and this platform to talk about factors increasing men's risk of committing rape. Look, this is not a topic I like. I'm telling you. Number one, because I do not think that any factor should contribute to you committing rape by anybody, whether male on male, male on female, female on female, female on male, any form of rape. There's no excuse for rape. Now, what is rape? I'm sure so many of our other facilitators have defined rape for us, but mildly, I'll put it as an act of violence in which power and domination over the victim is the primary motivation, where the predator takes from the victim what belongs to them. In this context, rape is not necessarily just sexual. Raping is stealing. When you steal from somebody what is not yours, when you rob and deprive them of what belongs to them by right, and it's not yours, does not belong to you in any way, and you grab it with force, whether by coercion or manipulation or any form of control. Once you take something from somebody that does not belong to you without their consent, you have raped them. You have robbed them of their fundamental right to know. Everybody has a right, the option of yes or no. And once they choose that no, it should be respected. Now, one of the factors that predisposes men to committing rape is one, lack of respect. No respect for the humanity of their victim. If you totally ignore the fact that another human being has a right to say no to you. Some people are totally incapable of receiving that word no. They hate to be rejected. And their lack of accepting rejection can be traced back to their childhood, to their malformed characters, to the childishness that they still harbor. A lot of people were not exposed to the possibility of no because they were pampered as children. They were catered to by their parents, by the people around them. For example, I read a story about a young man who was the only boy in a family of 6 daughters. So by the time he came, this happened in India, by the time he came, oh my goodness, there was a lot of pomp and pageantry, celebration of the arrival of the man in that family. So finally, the God has arrived, and he was treated as such. Unexpectedly, 18 years down the line, this boy had become a rapist because he felt entitled to another woman's body. How dare she deprive him of her body? How dare she deprive him of access to her body that is his right as a God? That he can at any time he feels he should be able to have any woman that he desires, because he was brought up with that entitlement mentality. Not only does he have an entitlement mentality, he feels no regard, no respect for the female gender, because the women around him kowtowed to his every whim and caprice. As he was growing up, he saw women as servants. He saw women as people who kowtowed to him, who obeyed all his whims and caprices, who were there to fulfill his wildest imagination and fantasies. Whatever he wanted, he was given at whatever cost. And so a woman should not have the impunity to deprive him of her body should he want it at any time. So a rapist has no, one of the factors why a man will rape a woman is lack of respect for the humanity of that person, of that woman, lack of respect for her dignity as a human being, lack of respect and regard for her fundamental right to say no, to choose, to have an option, and to preserve the right to make that choice. Right? Lack of respect. Number two, because it is that lack of respect that will inform a young man who goes to a party and drinks, whether excessively or just enough to stimulate him to want to have sex or just make out with a girl. And at the point where he's intoxicated enough to be liberal in his show of his physical expression, if a woman at whatever stage of making out says no, whether verbally or by non-verbal communication, by body language, she starts to shift and that handshake is passing the elbow. It's time to stop. Once she says no, it is time to stop. But he does not regard that no because one, he has no respect for her. Two, he has become so subsumed in the effect of the alcohol that he would not hear that no. Number three, a lot of men do not think that a woman has enough sense to determine what she wants and what she doesn't want. A man feels, okay, I will not generalize. I'm saying now, within this context of what we're talking about, men who go ahead to rape a woman or a girl think that girls need coercion to have sex with them. That if they say no, they actually don't mean no. It's a roundabout yes, a way of saying yes, that they don't want to be seen as loose, so they keep saying no until the end. That's wrong. A woman definitely knows what she wants. If she says no, she actually does mean no. So there's no clearer way to say that to a guy, to let him understand that no is not going to change to yes because you persistently refuse to hear it. Your lack of hearing does not remove the word that is being said. It only means that you have chosen not to hear it. So women do know what they want, and when they say no, they actually do mean no. So when a man does not respect a woman, does not respect what she stands for, does not respect her dignity, does not respect her fundamental right of choice, he will rape her. When a man refuses to understand the integrity of a woman, when she says no, she actually does mean no. She doesn't mean anything else apart from that no, whether by body language or by saying no. She in any language, Otsi Yoruba. I don't know what Igbos call it or any other language, but it's no, ce n'est pas. You know, once she says that no, she actually does mean no. So if you're inebriated by alcohol or the use of drugs, no cannot be misinterpreted even by the inducement of drugs and alcohol to mean yes. It can't blur your hearing. Right. So also, The society has come to blame women for being raped. Women have been raped like, what were you doing there? You gone. Why did you go there? Why were you wearing that cloth, that dress? Can't you see that it's too short? When you wear short clothes, you are telling, come. You are telling the men to come. When you wear clothes that reveal your breast, you're also telling men to come. Now, as a mother, I tell my daughter, you must dress appropriately for anywhere that you go. Anywhere that you go, you must be appropriately dressed. I have a problem with certain kinds of clothing because I want to be respected. So when I'm talking to you, I want you to hear what I'm saying. I don't want you to be distracted by my body configuration because you're not trained enough to understand that whatever way I'm dressed does not mean that you should start imagining something otherwise. But a lot of men are like that. They're moved by what they see. And that is not an excuse for rape. That just shows that they lack self-control. However, a woman should dress moderately. Dress in a way that will elicit respect. Because respect actually is earned. It's not conferred on you, right? It is not an award. You merit it. It's given by earning. You earn respect. So I believe that every human being must earn respect in every area of their lives, one of which is the way they dress. I want you to respect me. I must comport myself respectably. So I believe that young ladies of any age should dress respectably, should carry themselves respectably. Even if they don't carry themselves respectably, it doesn't give you the right to rape them. They have a right to be to carry themselves disrespectably, right? So if they choose not to, even a prostitute has the right to say no. If she doesn't want to have sex with you, she has the right to say no. If after paying her for her services, she says, you know what, I don't want to sleep with you, take your money back, she has every right to reject you and go. And you do not have the right to rape her, to take her by force. She has expressed a desire not to go on with the contract. And she has every right to abort it, right? So the society that says that a woman is to be blamed for being raped is one of the factors that increase men raping women. Who are those that are complicit in this conspiracy against women who are raped? Sometimes the police. When you go and report as a girl that you were raped, number one, they don't believe you. And even if they believe you, they are like, shebi is sex. I remember there was a guy, he wasn't trying to rape me though. We were friends. And he wanted to touch me and have sex with me. And I said, hey, just na like that. How? Say, maybe there's no meter there that will record how many times you do it. I say, hey, I don't care whether there's a meter there or not. I know that I've had sex with you. God knows, my body knows it, though it's not recording it. But I would know. So, and this was a full-grown man that was saying this to me. He wasn't a small boy. So you can imagine, but he didn't rape me. He left me when I said no. He left me and I went away. He wasn't interested in a platonic relationship. At least that one was clear. That, you know what, it's either you sleep with me or not. And if you're not interested, okay, bye-bye. And bye-bye now. So I bye-bye'd. So what I'm trying to say is, when a lady is raped by a guy and she goes to the police to report, they minimize it and undermine the situation, and they're like, maybe it's just sex. What's about sex? For them, it does not matter. It's not important. However, it is important to the girl because her dignity as a woman has been thoroughly undermined. I mean, undermine even seems very minute to describe the situation. It has been thoroughly violated. There's a violation of her right. There's a violation of her dignity. There's a violation of her essence as a human being. There's a violation of her self-worth. There's a violation of her value. There's a violation of her self-esteem. There's a violation of what she stands for. Her validation as a human being has just been abrogated, violated, desecrated by some man, whoever he is. And a policeman, or any man for that matter, who is told, who is in a position of authority to take that authority and intervene and seek justice on her behalf, if they derail that opportunity and they do not help in that situation, they are helping and they are increasing the factors that make a man continue to rape a woman. Maybe not that man in particular, but that is the message that is laying precedence, and that's what has laid continuous precedence for the continuity of rape in all societies, because they're not adequately punished. No man has the right to any woman's body, not even her husband, in a situation in which there is no consent, because even the Bible does say that they must consent to have sex, and they must consent not to. So if there is no consension between both of them, if the woman does not consent to having sex with her husband, he has no right to have sex with her. So when the society conspires against her, it increases the factor of rape. Society, policemen, society, even the mother of the person raped, of the victim, can come. Because, for example, if the girl is in a step situation in which she has a stepfather, or even if it is her own father, because recently there was a story of a man who was raping his own daughter, and the woman refused to believe it, because she felt she would be disenfranchised if she takes it up with the guy, that it will result in the breaking of the marriage. Is the breaking of the marriage more important than the sanctity and the sanity of your daughter, of even yourself? Because you cannot be a whole person knowing that your husband, your daughter's father, is having sex with her, and you're fully aware of it. I remember there was a time, some years back, we went for a marriage seminar, and the lady that was preaching mentioned that, oh, there's this woman. She's a very prominent woman in the society, that she'd had a very troublesome marriage in time past, but the marriage had been, well, that I don't know if it was fully restored, but that she had borne all the burden and the stress of the marriage, and that today, some 30-something years after, she was standing in the marriage. Hey, I said, lunch, no. She discovered, apart from the man was sleeping with any woman, house girl, friends, the daughter's friend, woman's friend to herself, any woman that had a close association, that his eyes sees like this, he obtains her. He started obtaining his own daughters, and this woman kept quiet. Dignified society woman kept quiet. did not take the husband up on it, but was seeking psychological help, therapy for her daughters, private, not one, no, all her daughters, and was seeking therapy for them. When I heard that thing, and supposedly this was supposed to be in praise of her managing her home. I didn't understand it. Till tomorrow, I'm still scandalized by it. How do you manage a home like that? Should that kind of home be managed, or that man should be exposed and made to feel the full brunt of the law? Should you cover up that kind of a man? Should you sustain that kind of a marriage? It shouldn't be, because those are some of the factors that continue to propagate rape in our society. Where a child cannot talk that her father is raping, the first day that he tries it, she should shout. She should seek help from her mother, who should not ignore her because she wants to save her marriage. Certainly that kind of marriage is not worth saving. That man should be truncated. That man should be beaten up. That man should be severely dealt with. Should be in prison. Look, it should be a detraction from that time. If we actually bring all the men that are sleeping with their daughters, whether high, mighty, or low, any of them, are brought to justice immediately, like giving life sentence, it will reduce the level of rape in the society. It will bring sense and sanity to our society. Like if they're threatened with life without parole, life imprisonment, if not execution by firing squad, how can you sleep with your own daughter? And then your wife, the mother of the child, is trying to cover it. Let them not hear. Let it not be said. Let it be said. Let it come out in the open. Let's throw it out. Let's throw everything on the ground and start counting them one by one, that no, this one is not good. What is bad is bad. And it should be declared as that bad. There's no other word for it. Because can your daughter not walk around the house? Your eyes will start popping because she has womanly parts. Of course she has. She has to have it. A man that's a house help. So there's this friend of mine. So I went to her shop because we had some business that we were doing together. This was pre-COVID, some years back. So I went to her shop, and she had just gotten a house girl who had just been dropped that day for her in the shop. So she hadn't gone home, but she was about to give her money like this. She had already given the girl the address to her house. So she was opening her drawer to say, okay, take this money. You can remember the address that I gave you. Yeah, come and start going home. First, when I saw that girl, yellow from head to toe like this, buxom breast, as in overlapping, everything was out there. She was very heavily guarded. I said, who is at home? Oh, husband is at home. I said, him. So you're here inside the shop, and you also sent this girl to your house like this for what? She said, it's not good. I said, it's a very bad something. You also sent this girl to your house looking like this with your husband. Is it a half man? Excuse doesn't. Hey, thou shall not. You are predisposing him to a risk factor. I said, look, this girl, you don't know what her intentions are. She might not even have any intention. But if she goes to your house, you are not there. You are not going to get there till night. And she will be in the house from morning to night every day. You are in the shop. And your husband is there at home. It's not a good something. Please go and get another girl. If you must have a house girl, get another one. Certainly not a one like this. But you see, the thing is though, there's some which I have seen also. Somebody says, hey, my husband is slept with. You remember that my house girl? That's my husband slept with. I say, oh, why? This one is not that they said. I saw. There was this guy. I went to see him in his office for business. So whilst we were there, the talk went into husband sleeping with housemaid. I don't even know how that, but I can never forget that encounter. He now said, what's wrong with it if a man sleeps with his housemaid? I said, what's wrong with it? Oh, so you don't see anything wrong with it? He said, absolutely nothing. That the housemaid has exactly what the house madam has. So, there's nothing wrong if, he's also supplying. Hey! I said, you see absolutely nothing. Okay. So, if you don't see anything wrong with having sex with your housemaid, which will be done by coercion, you will coerce her into that, there's nothing wrong with it, I will give you money. That is also rape. You may not use violence, but you use coercion, you use manipulation to obtain what you shouldn't have obtained from her. And you used your position as the oga to intimidate her and have sex with her. So I said, okay, see if there's nothing wrong with you having carnal knowledge with this, your housemaid. There should be nothing wrong with your madam, your wife, having the same experience with your megad, or with your houseboy, or with your driver, or her driver for that matter. He kept shut his mouth immediately. Anyway, so those are the social factors that contribute to propagating that risk factor of, I don't think risk, because these men, when they commit it, they don't see it as risk, that enables a man to commit rape without even feeling any sense of remorse, because the society contributes to it. The mentality, and I'm not saying mental disorder, the mentality, the thinking of the man in the society that informs him thinking he has a right to his housemaid. The housemaid is in his house. He's paying her salary. So, and she has everything that his wife has. Why can he not have access to her? So you see the mentality which has been propagated by his association. Now, this same man was in the cult when he was in school. The school that he was in the cult. And one of the things that they used to do when they go and they raid is to rape girls. And it was a thing that was done without flinching. They raped girls. And why did they rape girls? They raped girls to dominate them, to enforce their power, to enforce they're taken from those girls to show that they are men. It was part of the things that they did, being in the cult, to show their power, to show that they are whomsoever they were in ranking, and then all their other mates will slap them in the back and say, yay, well done, you have done well. And so that thing sinks into their mentality and makes them feel as they are growing older, because there is no accountability. They have not been held accountable. There hasn't been any repercussion. They have not paid for it. So they continue to propagate it. They continue to live their lives like that, raping other people, raping them, not just sexually, raping them in other ways, even in business, even in the situation where we are today in Nigeria, where the people are raping us of our funds. But that is another matter for another day. Now, also, in schools, and when I'm talking about schools, I'm not talking about universities. I'm talking about primary school. Oh, I remember when I was much younger. I can't have been more than 6 or 7, or at the very most 8, but I don't think I was even 8. I was around 6 or 7. And there was this girl in my class at the time was telling me stories about how the driver, the house help, used to touch her or used to touch themselves. She was experiencing pornography, live pornography, not television, there was no social media. I'm talking about in the 70s, where she was seeing this happening, and that had affected her mind. And so she could not see sex as a sacred thing. It had been banalized. It had become regular because she was seeing it every day. Even as a child, then I knew this was wrong. It was gravely wrong. So exposure to pornography materials, this is the responsibility of parents, to be sensitive to what their children are watching, to what their children are being exposed to. We have to be sensitive as parents. We have to be sensitive to the exposure that we have to social media. Even ordinary Instagram. Some people will slide inside my DM with terrible pictures. I said, number one, no. Before you slid into my DM, you saw that I'm a woman. No, I'm not a man, and I'm not a gay. I'm a woman. You slide into my DM with it most inappropriate, lewd pictures of yourself. For why? What are you trying to achieve? To test if maybe by chance I'm that kind of a person? That happens. So the exposure that we give our children to social media should be intercepted, should go through screening. What are we allowing them to be exposed to? They don't even have to slide into your DM. Just browsing through Instagram, you will see some people, you will see some young ladies, sexually inappropriate photographs of themselves that pronounces some form of pornography, some sort of solicitation, some sort of solicitation is happening right before you. So when there is that factor contributing to the mind space of regular everyday people, you're inebriating them with the psychology of sex and lewdness and lasciviousness and debauchery and all manner of sexual inappropriateness that begins to arouse some fantasies in them, and they want to achieve those fantasies. Because once those doors are opened, and they're opened by way of watching and hearing, and this happens from primary school, when a small boy touches a girl because he saw the thing on TV or he saw it on the phone. Why are we giving our children smartphones so early, or exposing them to some materials with the tablets, and there's 24/7 Wi-Fi or data on it? So things are popping up for those children to see. Those are some of the factors that predisposes men or boys to rape, because they see those things happening and they feel that, oh, they want to try it as children, and they go ahead and try it. This is not a very easy subject for me to talk about. I'm not really enjoying it because It just opens up the space of how bad the society, of how rotten the society is becoming or has become. And it seems like we're losing the fight to draw it back, to draw ourselves back to sanity, because there's become so much wantonness, so much permissiveness. We're not drawing the lines. The lines are getting so blurry. You know something, at this point, really, I want to talk to young girls. Rape can never be right. Young ladies, women in general, I see some things that some women wear, and I'm like, we should not expose ourselves like this. Why? My question is why? What is the reasoning behind this? Why would you leave your house and half of your boobs are out? They're out. What market are we selling? It's not necessary. It's not necessary. We should, like I said earlier on, as women, we should carry ourselves with dignity, with respect. And we should demand that our bodies be respected by the way we carry it. It is how you carry yourself that people will carry you. If you carry yourself like want to, they will want to take that chance. They want to try and carry you like want to. That's when you tell them no at all. How do you see me? That you want? No way. Do you understand? So as young people, no, we should respect ourselves and carry ourselves with respect, and not give any man the impetus to say that it's because of, how dare you, because of why. And so, did I say that come and rape me or I'm available for rape? Oh, wow. This has been a very emotionally turgid situation for me, because a lot of men carry out rape for power and domination. Some men, by virtue of the fact that they've reached their midlife and there's a crisis because they're having prostate issues or they're no longer as virile as they used to be. So they need a younger girl to approve of their virility. So they go and obtain. That's how they sleep with their housemates, or some go to the extent of coercing the hawker on the street. I'm talking about men of timber and caliber, not of Paco, real timber, human beings in the society. Will seduce. There is nobody in the house. Madam has traveled or madam has gone to the market. They'll use that opportunity. They'll go and take baraga or take something that will give them some virility, because they are constant. You see, you get to a point. That's life. Men at some point will have prostate issues. If it's not quickly handled, they might become impotent. But on the way there, they will gradually lose their sexual virility, right? So in order to prove to themselves that they're still men, there's a story of a young lady who was seduced to a hotel, supposedly to have a one-on-one master class with some guy, right? And he wanted to rape her. And this was because, and in the course of trying to rape her, his manly tool will not stand to attention. And so obviously, he was having problems in that area. So he was even on the phone at some point saying that, oh, he's at work, men at work, men at work. To prove that what? To prove that he's still a man. He didn't know the girl from Adam. He didn't know that he liked her or anything, right? But he just needed to prove to himself that he was still a man. Such a person needs medical attention. He just needs medical attention. That's all. He didn't have to go and rape somebody. He didn't have to go and coerce a girl to sleep with him through manipulation and coercion and force to sleep with him to prove that he's a man. All he needed was to have gone to the hospital and have his prostate checked. But a lot of Nigerian men in particular do not understand the need for constant medical attention, and that having prostate issues or having midlife situations is not out of the ordinary. It's not a curse. It's just something that your body has come up to that point that you need to work on to do something about. And then the issue of rituals. When men want to make money and make money fast, they tell them that you have to go and sleep with a virgin, or you have to go and sleep with a small child. You have to go and, because I don't understand what the craze is for a man to go and sleep with babies, 6-month-old baby, 1-year-old, 3-year-old baby, for ritual purposes, to make money, to be influential in the society, for whatever reason. It's another reason why men rape children, rape their daughters for ritual purposes, rape people, some even rape their mothers for ritual purposes, to make fast money. This topic can't get even more depressing than this. I'm telling you, it's so upsetting, when you consider all the factors. I was reading somewhere where this woman was blaming her daughter. Somebody saw them on Lagos Island in the market, and this child was walking barefoot, right, and crying. A child, 3 or 4-year-old child. So some passerby saw her and was like, kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀, kí ló tọmọdé ṣe ń sunkún dẹ̀ tún rìn kò wọ bàtà nínú ojú títì? Why is this child crying and walking barefoot? And the mother said, don't mind her, she's an aṣẹ́wó. The woman was like, she what? She couldn't understand how you could call a child, a kindergarten child aṣẹ́wó. How? That's how the woman actually believed an adult man had been penetrating this girl forcibly. And when he was found, he said it was the girl that was seducing him. How could a child possibly seduce you? Okay, let's say the child was even seducing you, that you're an adult. Are you mad? If a child is seducing you, will you not say, go and meet your mother, or just, handle it like an adult should? So she's seducing you, and so this lady took it upon herself to explain to this mother, there is no how in the world a child like this could seduce a full-grown adult man in his 30s, and you believed him over your own child. Okay, so if the child was seducing him, what kind of training did you give to a child to seduce an adult? I mean, what exposure did she have apart from your training? What did you allow her to see that she will go and seduce a full-grown adult? These are some of the issues in our society that compound the issue of men obtaining by force the body of a woman. In many societies, even in India, they don't have regard for women. And as such, they rape women like that on the streets. They believe that women should be at home, cleaning the house, cooking, and serving their husbands, serving their fathers, or serving their brothers. They should not be out on the streets. And if you are out on the streets, you are liable to being raped outside at your own risk. So they possibly obtain such girls, and they feel justified doing so. And that is why rape is so rampant in India, because there's almost, you can almost say that they are misogynist. There's a hatred for women. Like, women are not regarded as anything. As such, they can use and throw them away. There's the issues of gang rape most of the time in India as a result of disregard entirely for the female gender, and the feeling of entitlement, which has also been propagated by that man preference for the male, for the male child versus the female child. Oh wow. So we've spoken about power and domination, we've spoken about control, we've spoken about lack of self-control, we've spoken about the use of alcohol and drugs, we've spoken about the family contributing to it, we've spoken about the society contributing to it, even by law enforcement agents contributing to it. We've spoken about men not being accountable as a result of no repercussions, no consequence to their bad behavior. It's beyond bad behavior. It's a criminal act to their criminal act. We've spoken about punishments not being enforced.